It's not gonna be as good as this one. I can tell you that now without any test. Hello YouTube, this is Part-Time Warrior, and in today's video, we are going to be testing the new weapon, the Luxurious Sea Lord. I will be showing you what it looks like with its basic attacks. I'll be going over its ability. I'm going to try to trigger this Titanic tuna, and then I'll give you my final thoughts and opinions towards the end, as well as comparing it to other options. Will this be a good free-to-play weapon? Let's find out. First off, I gotta make a team to test this. I already know who I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on my Eula. And just for the basic functionality, we're just gonna go Eula and Zhongli. That way we have no other variables. We gotta swap her current weapon out, which I hate to do this to my Eula. Taking my 5-star Unforged off for a fucking fish. Oh well, it's for science. Let's first go over the description. It has a base attack of 454 and has an attack percentage of 55.1 at level 90. It will increase your elemental burst damage by 15%. When an elemental burst hits an opponent, there is a 100% chance of summoning a Titanic tuna that charges and deals 125% attack as AoE damage. This effect can occur once only every 15 seconds. So at first glance, it looks like it's going to be better as a burst support weapon, such as a Beto, maybe a Sayu, because it has attack percent as a main stat and will give you a little bit more damage on her ult. But first, we're going to try them on one of my main DPS's, Eula, and then we're just going to go for his base attack when I just use it normally, and then we'll go from there. First off, let's look at this. Man, like, who wants to run around with a dead fish as a weapon? And what is that in his mouth? I don't know. Here, kitty, I got you some fish. You don't want my fish? Fuck you too, then. We'll try some basic enemies first, and then we'll probably take it to the abyss. We'll fight a Nobushi. I changed my mind. I feel too lazy to go all the way up there to fight it. Instead, we'll try it on our good old friend Masanori. Alright. Let's do basic attacks. 4,000, 7,000, 14,000. It's hitting harder than I thought, although that's partly to do with my crit damage. And Zhongli's shield, of course. I guess I should probably show you my stats before I continue. It is 56.3 crit rate, 161 crit damage, and she has a attack of 2,187 with this weapon. So it's getting nice numbers. Nicer numbers than I thought it would. Let's go for a round 2.
Let me try my
Here we go. It's almost 12k, 7k. Getting pretty consistent average of 10, 11k damage. Going better than I honestly thought it was going to go when I first looked at the low base attack. The base attack is definitely lower than Prototype Archaic, and Prototype Archaic has over 100 more base attack than the Sea Lord, but the attack percentage boost right here is helping to keep them high numbers. Of course, this is at R2. I'm waiting for the event to unlock so I can get more of the things, but so far I'm impressed. I'm going to fight him with Prototype Archaic and compare the auto attack damage numbers.
Let me try.
All right. 7k, 20k. I think that was the skill of the weapon. I don't think that was my Eula. 11, 12. It's looking to be almost the same, shockingly enough. Are the autos actually lower with this sword? I don't know. It's very close though.
Solidify.
12k, 7,300. The Sea Lord definitely seems to be on par with the Prototype Archaic. With the Sea Lord Claymore, she has a higher base attack. As you can see here, 2,024 base attack, and this gives her 2,032. Now, it's not like, it's only by like 20 attack, but it is higher. With that in mind, with Luxurious Sea Lord and Prototype Archaic being very comparable in the attack they give my Eula, it's going to come down to which effect you'd rather have. So if you're going a burst support, by far this Luxurious Sea Lord is going to be better. Now I'm going to go try to crit with my Eula's ult and see what kind of damage numbers I can get now that I know the swords are very comparable in values. And to do that, we are going to go to the Abyss. Let's see, we're only doing the first half, so who do I like to do? Eula, Rosaria, Raiden Shogun, Zhongli. Alright, just what I wanted to see. Right here. We're gonna see just how high I can get this burst. 1,
Freeze to the core.
Pop.
Rack and ruin.
It hit kind of nice though. Oh, I'm not getting a lot of damage in on this. 146k, but where's my tuna? I have yet to see the tuna. I mean, it's performing very well. I am not disappointed in this weapon. It's kind of like the catch, where the catch is extremely good because of its passive. And then this weapon, it may have a 454 base attack, but it's still gonna be decent because of the 55.1 attack percentage boost you get. Of course, this is a super conduct too. Which, how else would you run a Eula team comp?
I condemn you.
Let's swap out. What am I gonna get? Didn't even die. I'm gonna go back, but swap to my Prototype Archaic. And then after this, after we see what the damage values are in Abyss, my goal is to summon the tuna. I got the exact same buff.
Solidify.
Let's just give me more crit rate right there.
Illusion shattered. Crush. Flood of frost. See no more.
38? What was that? Oh, that was the passive of the weapon again. I'm getting confused. 247? Oh, I did get a lot more hits in. I'm gonna do one more run in here with the luxurious Sea Lord weapon again. I see a 247k with Prototype Archaic. I've got to see if I can get that high with the luxurious Sea Lord.
There is no escape. You can't run. Beg for mercy.
There's that.
Flood of frost.
I got a bop.
I condemn you.
It's gonna be 145k.
Beg for mercy.
One more attempt at this.
Will be mine.
Let's see how high I can get it. I'm gonna get a lot of hits in this
More
time.
speed.
238k. Okay. That was the test with Eula. Now I'm going to put it on a different character that utilizes their burst more often, namely Beto, although small problem. Mine is not leveled and has no artifacts. I'm going to look and see if I can find something to put on her. Alright, I gave her all of Jean's artifacts, and we are at a nice 35 crit rate and 152 crit damage. Now we're going to fight our good friend Masanori.
Stabilize.
Official's going to be my battery for this.
Ready.
Alright, got it back. I'm trying to summon the tuna. There, okay, I see it now. Just looks like a bunch of tuna falling. I was expecting something more epic, like a big-ass tuna jumping out the ground. But my official's doing more damage than my beta. I'm getting an average of 1.4k with normal attacks that don't crit. Alright, final test with Prototype Archaic. Getting 1.7, 2.3, 1.4. I'm getting higher damage hits from Prototype Archaic. I think the fish is giving me slightly more burst damage than Prototype Archaic. Alright, with that last test, I think I can move on to the final verdict. So what are my final thoughts on the luxurious Sea Lord weapon? It does have a lower base attack than most claymores in the game, but the attack percentage bonus you get more than makes up for it. It has an elemental burst damage buff of 12% at R1, and it's going to go to 24% at R5, which is going to give you a lot more elemental burst damage, especially on elemental burst supports. Normal attack wise, they did almost the same, although it had situations where Prototype Archaic seemed to out damage the luxurious Sea Lord by a bit. But if you take into the account the elemental burst buff you get, especially when you get it to R5, the luxurious Sea Lord is going to outdamage the Prototype Archaic. Now, what characters could use this weapon effectively? Well, definitely burst support characters can. If you have a main DPS Razor, when you activate his ultimate, then every normal attack is going to have burst damage behind it, so that'll be helpful. A lot of people use Beto solely as a burst support, so this is definitely a good option for her. The same that I said for Razor is going to apply to Noelle. Xinyan is very often used as a burst support, so it's going to be great on her. It can work on Eula, as I had more burst damage off of the luxurious Sea Lord compared to Prototype Archaic, although it's not a tremendous gap, but there is a gap nonetheless. I hit 247,000 max with Prototype Archaic. I hit 258,000 with the luxurious Sea Lord. Now, if I had some more hits in there, it could change, but of course, Eula's burst isn't always consistent. It's going to depend on how many stacks you get. But if you got the same amount of stacks, luxurious Sea Lord will probably come out better on burst damage. So any character that you could use a Prototype Archaic on, you can use the luxurious Sea Lord on. Well, that's going to do it for this review. As you can see, this is an excellent weapon, and I do recommend leveling it up, especially if you don't have a lot of 5-star weapons like me. If you found this video helpful or enjoyable, please leave a like. Leave a subscribe if you want to see more of my content in the future. I'll be doing weapon guides and more lore videos like my Gene one. I'll be doing weapon reviews, and also I plan to do some skits. But other than that, I hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one.